On my previous installment, we went over Misato's most heroic and inspiring side as she was able to stop the jet alone from a nuclear meltdown. Also, we were hinted with the possibility that the second impact was more than the end of the world as we know it for Misato. At that point of the story, we still had no idea that she was in fact on Antarctica during the contact experiment, a background story that will be told in small portions as we move forward, and that will help us understand her character. Finally, we were introduced to her love life, as Kaji made his first appearance on the show, when he reunites with Misato on episode 8. In this video, we will start on episode 9, when Shinji and Asuka have to work together again to defeat the Angel Threat, highlighting once again Misato's obsession to succeed at any cost. This is Misato Overexplained Part 3. Episode 9 is more an Asuka episode than it is a Misato episode, but she does play an important role in it, as we unveil more on her past. On this episode, Kaji tried to seduce Ritsuko. This let us know that both of them and Misato share a past, as they have known each other for a while, only to be then discovered by a jealous Misato. This is undeniable proof that there are still feelings from Misato towards Kaji. Kaji also states to Ritsuko that he does not fight battles that he cannot win, referring to Misato. An angel attacks and we are pulled out of this conversation before we can get more insight. Asuka and Shinji are deployed on their Evangelion units only to be shamefully defeated. Misato has then to fill out a lot of paperwork from the United Nations, mostly to report and justify the nature of this failure. Bureaucracy is just a beautiful thing. Ritsuko then brings a plan to Misato, one that she is excited to get, as she is out of ideas on how to defeat this angel. But then she is told that was Kaji's plan. At the beginning she feels anger that is his idea, but then a timid and surprising smile shows on her face while looking at it. This basically means that she is happy that he still thinks on her and worries about her. Then we go to her apartment to discover that Asuka claimed handsome Shinji's room. Asuka complains about the Japanese not having sense of privacy. To then Misato appear and state otherwise. This is factually true. Japanese culture is very community-oriented in the sense that others' priorities are always in front of your own, one of them being others' privacy. Now to Misato say this is funny to say the least, as we know by now that she tends to invade Shinji's privacy. Then Misato tells them both that they are living together, as Kaji's plan is that in order to defeat this angel, is for them both work together at a perfect sync. Both of the children complain about Misato authority shows once again her strong and decisive character. She simply does not have time to fool around. Misato knows at this point that Asuka's willingness to play along is going to be a problem, as she is way over her head and believes that she is perfect. She just needs a reality check, so she brings Rei in. Misato knows that one of the things that make Asuka going is when her ego gets threatened, and Rei is perfect for that. Of course, Asuka fails, blames Shinji, Misato replaces Asuka with Rei, and everything goes perfect. Ego hurt. Misato succeeded. This was intentional as Misato knows that Asuka is a very competent pilot, and if she has to roll the dice, she will do it with Asuka instead of Rei. But she needs Asuka at top of her game, and that she did. Asuka took it personal and went to work. Then we see how Asuka enters Shinji's room only for him to fake that he's sleeping. He's used to this, as Misato invades his privacy constantly. Then we have the most important part of the episode regarding Misato, her elevator scene with Kaji. The way that this scene is portrayed, it seems like she's letting Kaji to take advantage of her. She can get out of that situation anytime she wants. The thing is that she does not want to, as she offers little resistance on Kaji's advancement. Then the elevator doors opens, as Misato tells to Kaji that was a mistake and that there is nothing between them. Akagi goes and says that her lips told a different story. Misato's feelings towards Kaji are all over the place, as she feels jealousy when Kaji is seducing Ritsuko, but anger when he approaches her. She's not being truthful on her feelings. The director is telling us once again that Misato is a very complicated character. Kaji, however, is straightforward, at least with her, and knows that them being together is only a matter of time, as tensions are very obvious. We discovered on previous episodes how Misato uses her job to avoid to confront her own feelings. This happens once again when Ritsuko tells her that she should be honest with herself, as Kaji is, for only Misato to reply that Kaji has not changed at all and that she is focusing on the big battle against the angel. Then Shinji and Asuka are deployed once again, they battle the angel at perfect sync, everything goes as expected, and victory. Mission accomplished. Captain Katsuragi scores another W. On episode 10, we are revealed that Kaji and Asuka had a relationship back in Europe, the same way that Shinji and Misato are having in Japan. This is very curious as the roles are inverted. Misato likes to make Shinji uncomfortable using her strong sexual drive, while Asuka enjoys making advances on Kaji, trying to do the same thing. Now there is this scene. There is nothing in particular worth noting between Misato and Asuka discussion, other than she is telling Asuka that she cannot go to a field trip. Other than that, look at her yellow shirt. Did you look at it? Remember this, as I will address it on a future episode. At this point, Asuka has lost respect for Misato. In the original version, I mean the Japanese language version, Asuka does not refer to Misato as Misato-san, as she does with Kaji. San is a title of respect in the Japanese language. Children should use it all the time when referring adults by their name. Asuka is very well aware of this as she has used it before, but not with Misato. Misato is not stupid. She knows that Asuka sees her as her rival to get Kaji's heart. Of course, she knows that Kaji is not crazy enough to get into that kind of relationship with a child, and also knows at this point that she can have Kaji anytime she wants. Therefore, this does not bother her. Then we see Misato in a control room while exploring the depth of a volcano. This is important as we see Misato's obsession on her fight against the angels once again. She goes very aggressive over everyone in the room as she wants to push the exploration further, even though that she is advised that technology has its limits, and the sonar might collapse. She does not care in order to push it further. If there is an angel evolving in the heart of the volcano, she has to know it at any cost. Sandal phone. Bingo! Once again, Misato takes over a facility that is not Nerv's. She knows that Shinji Ikari would approve and does not need to consult with anyone else. This is now her operation. Misato has to roll the dice with one of the pilots. This time is Asuka. The reason behind this decision is subjective. One reason could be that Asuka is the best pilot at her disposal and has the higher chance of succeed. Other reason could be that this is a very dangerous mission, and Misato will not take the risk of losing Shinji for what it means to her. As we established on previous episodes, Shinji is her stability. She just needs him. Asuka, however, might be replaceable. Asuka then goes into the magma and reaches safety limits. Misato, as before, wants to push forward. But this time is not a piece of technology, like the sonar, but is an actual human life. Asuka's. Misato simply doesn't care. Nothing is more important than to defeat the angels. This is her obsession. On this layer of her personality, she has no bounds. The events of the second impact are brought back again, something that changed Misato and shaped this obsession. Asuka finds Sandalphone, she captures him, then he escapes, they fight, Asuka wins, and Shinji saves Asuka. Another risky decision, another big win for Captain Katsuragi. However, her decisions are turning more and more reckless on every episode. Then, Misato tries to make it up for Asuka and they share a thermal bath together. They now are bonding, or at least trying after such a risky mission. In this episode we saw the most radical of Misato's side so far, as we are hinted again about her past and her role on the events of the second impact. The episode ends with Asuka noticing the iconic scar on Misato's chest, a reminder of her past and her destiny. On episode 11, a power shortage occurs in Tokyo 3. Misato does not have a major role in this episode. However, she's put in a very funny situation when she gets stuck on an elevator with the one and only Kaji. Kaji tries to get to the elevator and Misato tries desperately to close the door before he reaches it. She fails, and Kaji gets in. Power goes out, and they get stuck together. The only thing that happens outside the elevator that is worth noting regarding Misato's story is how she uses Makoto to do her laundry. The relationship between both of them will develop as the story moves forward. But this is a hint on how Misato uses Makoto to do off-the-book stuff. Back to the elevator. Misato does not understand how this is possible as Nerv has multiple sources of power. Kaji, on the other hand, knows that this is external. Someone provoked this intentionally. Kaji once again takes the opportunity to make advances on Misato. She of course resists once again. This is not the time as they are both isolated from the world and oxygen is scarce. She then tries to reach the ceiling to find a way out while on Kaji's shoulder, only to fall on him when power suddenly came back, and we are left with this very funny situation when Ritsuko opens the elevator's doors only to find them on what it seems let's just say a popular number position. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. I will release the fourth part of this character study on the next few days. Therefore, remember to subscribe and like the video if you did, so you won't miss it out. I publish Evangelion and other anime related content on my channel every week, and I hope to see you there very soon. Have a great day.